All right, I have literally 30 minutes to fish before I have to get going to work. It's Friday. It is cold Friday. It is only 30 something degrees, 38 maybe. But I wanted to do a little bit of fishing this morning before work. Haven't been out in a while, so it is breezy too. It is chilly, but hopefully I catch a little bit of fish. Hopefully that's what you see. All right, I have not. This is one of my favorite ponds to fish, but I don't think I've actually fished it this year. Every time I've been here, there's just been so much moss. It's kind of been unmanageable, and I've just passed on it to go other places, and there's still a ton of moss this morning, but I'm committed. I only have 30 minutes to fish before I got to get back to work. Not back to work, before I got to get to work. Ooh, something just big swirled there. So hoping to stretch a line. Hopefully something. It is cold though. Fall is coming. It is only 38 degrees, I think, this morning. Tomorrow morning, a freeze warning. It is. Fall is rapidly approaching. It is still early October, so we got time. It's supposed to be back up around 80 next week. So it's not going to stay this cold for too long, but long enough. Today is Friday. It's our last home football game. It's going to be cold. That's okay. And then the group I'm a part of, Pleasantville Youth Initiative, we have a kind of a post-game party after the football game tonight, so that should be fun. Means a late night. Tomorrow I'm going to be on a skid loader, I think, pretty much all day. We had a septic system put in, well, it's been probably 2 years ago now, and I never actually leveled out my laterals, the dirt on my laterals, and I've got some stuff that's sunk in that's settled around the septic tank itself that I really need to fill in around. So all day project probably tomorrow with dirt. So that's why I wanted to get out this morning. It is a beautiful morning. I mean, it's chilly and or cold. It's not just chilly. Let's be honest, it's cold. 38 degrees is cold. But it's freeze warning for tomorrow, so it's going to be colder. I'm not happy with this. So take advantage while I can. Even if I don't catch a fish, it's good to get out. Kind of waiting for this freeze to kill the weeds in this pond. This pond is just hard to fish when there's this many weeds in it. Water is way low. Because it hasn't rained in feels like years. My reel needs oiled because it's probably got sand in it from my last trip. My last actual fishing trip was my guys trip. I haven't put out a video for that yet. Annual guys trip. We floated. Yeah. Really just 2 days of floating. The second day, Friday, was raining. Cold, windy, rainy, and we decided not to float. We didn't want to be miserable. We did still fish. We fished and caught some nice fish. So I will have a video coming out on that here at some point. Just hours and hours of video to sort through, and it's been fun looking back through it, but just haven't had the chance to really put out a video yet. And what I'll probably do is I'll put out a kind of an overview video and then maybe some separate videos about each day. I don't know. We caught so many fish. It was insane. It was just amazing. It was a bummer though, because on day 3, 2 of the guys had to leave. They had ridden together, live a couple hours away from where we were fishing at, and one of them had a family emergency that he had to get back for. And so they left. Thankfully, I'm the guy with the canoes, and Tony, the other guy who was able to stick around, is the guy with the camper. So that worked out okay, I guess. And we had a great day. We caught so many fish, and some big ones too. We caught some real nice fish. It was just a bummer that we did it alone. Come on, fishies. These fish are probably like, it's cold. We're good. So much moss. So much moss. I have done well on this pond, this time of year, even when it's cold. Caught some giant red ears. One year, about this time of year, it was Halloween actually, and we're still a few weeks out from Halloween. I think the difference was that the moss had all died at that point, so it made it easier to actually fish. And I suppose if I had some worms and brought my slip bobber along, I could probably round up something too, but I don't this morning. Oh, that reel is so annoying. It's kind of interesting this week. Fishing has actually made like national news. Sadly, not for a good thing. There was, I don't know, maybe a week ago now, the news came out with, started seeing postings of a video from the Lake Erie Walleye, big Lake Erie Walleye tournament of weights in fish. Man, if you haven't seen the video, everybody I think seen the video at this point, whether you're a fisherman or not. And I don't know, it just got me thinking, like, at what point, like from my perspective, from like a Christian perspective, like at what point does that line get crossed? And I mean, this was putting weights in fish at a tournament to cheat. But man, that line gets crossed all the time between like just being, because at one point these guys were just normal fishermen. I mean, they were just 2 guys out there fishing. I mean, like I am now. But at some point that line just gets blurred and crossed. You know, Satan's really good at that. He's really good at tricking us and blurring that line to the point where next thing we know, we're doing some really stupid stuff. And in this case, for these guys, it was sticking weights in fish at a tournament to win. And man, they potentially won like millions of dollars over the years. Cheated people out potentially. I mean, because that's the thing. Now that they've been busted, the assumption is that that's what they've been doing the whole time. And I think it's a fair assumption, even if it's not true. I think the assumption's fair. I mean, they put themselves in a position for that assumption to be made. And man, it's just, I feel bad for their families and people that are close to them, that are friends, that didn't choose this and now probably are facing backlash because of it. And man, I don't know, over some fish. But it's money. I mean, greed, sin is a temptation. But yeah, at what point did that line get crossed of, I mean, talking about, oh, jeez. I hope we saw that. That was a big bass. Just smoked this little beetle spin. Oh gosh. Was unprepared for that mentally. Holy cow. Okay, whew. I get the blood going. This should have been hooked. Looked like about a 4-pounder. Now I'm all tangled on my line. But yeah, like, I don't know, sitting around talking and maybe joking about putting weights in fish and how people cheat, and then it goes to, oh, that was easier than I thought. And then it goes to, I don't know at what point that conversation gets brought up of, what if we did this? Yeah. And I don't know, I'm glad that guy got out of there safe, alive. I don't know, I mean, there were some people ready to hurt him bad. Again, I understand it because they've been cheated out of tens of thousands, potentially millions of dollars. And yeah, I get why they're mad, because that's their living. That's what they do. That's how they make money. I don't know. But it's not a new thing. I mean, the reality is people have been putting weights in fish. That happens. To think that it hasn't happened before, that this is an isolated thing, is naive at best. Guys have kind of smashed fish to stretch them a little bit so that they make length. Guys have caught fish days, weeks before. I don't know about weeks, but days before. They've been busted for it, and tied them up to a stump or anchored them up out in the lake and then gone and collected them later. Tournaments do a good job of checking boats, and ice fishing tournaments checking shacks, but people still hide fish, especially if it's a tournament where you can weigh dead fish. Money's a temptation. I mean, here in Iowa, there have been a couple scandals of people getting busted cheating in tournaments. And it's just, yeah. Oh, it's too bad. It tarnishes things and puts a bad light on tournaments. And I'm glad they were caught. I'm glad they were busted, but they're done. I mean, they're never going to be able to fish in a tournament again. I mean, at least not by name. I suppose maybe small local stuff that nobody knows who they are, they could, but they're done, and they're gonna, I mean, I'm sure there's charges gonna be pressed on them, and money gonna have to be returned, and I don't know. Yeah, I know, innocent until proven guilty, but when you sit and watch the video and see pounds of weights being pulled out of dead walleyes that were force-fed with walleye fillets into fish, that's pretty tough. But I don't know. I used to fish some small tournaments here and there, and I guess if you're spending thousands of, these big tournament guys are spending thousands of dollars to just get into the tournament, and then you've got all this money invested in boats and equipment, and I know how much money I have invested, and I'm just a casual fisherman. The tournaments I've fished have been really low-key casual things, so man, I don't know. I've been in tournaments where you've got fish that are an eighth of an inch or even less short, and it's like, man, I just can't make it. Oh, there's fish. Oh, let go. Dang it. It's a nice fish too. Just can't make this fish long enough. And I guess if your integrity's already gone, it doesn't take much to do something physically to that fish, to pop its jaw or step on it a little bit to stretch it. I don't know, to make that length, or just roll the dice and hope that nobody actually measures your fish at weigh-in. That's silly. All I know is that I am 0 for 2 on bites this morning. But I got 2 bites. That's actually kind of more than I thought I might get. That one was hooked for a minute. I don't know what the deal was with that. Oh, there we go. There we go. Fish. I wonder if he is the same one that has taken 3 swipes at it in that same little spot. Not the first one. I definitely... Ah, there we go. A fish. That's all I really wanted. Oops. Come on out of there, buddy. Pop out of there. For real? Come on. Fish right there. There we go. Little guy. Nice. He warm. Definitely warm compared to this air. There he goes. Bye-bye, fishy. Good. Didn't get skunked. And I didn't put a weight in him. Yay. Actually saw him hit it too. Again, right at the edge of those weeds. But I'd had 2 bites right in that spot before, so I'm guessing he's the same one that has been poking at it already. Should probably check the time. I feel like it's time to probably get going to work, but my alarm hasn't gone off yet. I don't. Oh, there was a little fish hit right on the other side of the pond, right at the edge of the weeds, like a little bass. Maybe worth. I don't have time. Man, it wasn't so crazy busy. I think it'd be worth coming back here and running a top water right at the edge of these weeds, right as the sun's getting ready to set. There are some really nice bass in this pond, so that'd be fun, but I'm not going to have a chance to do that for a while. Maybe next week sometime after work I could do that. I don't know. I suppose before my alarm for work goes off, closing thoughts of the day. Honesty is a pretty big deal, boys and girls. It's a pretty big deal. Again, we're talking, those guys will never be able to, they're never going to be trusted fishing again. Ever. They're not even going to be able to post a picture of a fish. Like, let's be honest, if they even post a picture of a fish, people are going to, oh, something bumped it right there. People are going to turn it into a meme. They're going to, I've seen some really funny pictures over the last week. I don't know, my favorite one's probably the fish taco one. That's pretty good. There's pictures of guys at weigh-ins just holding big weights, and the comedy world has gotten some mileage out of this, but it's, at the end of the day, it's not a funny deal. These guys' lives, fishing lives, are ruined. I mean, they just are. And they have to live with that. But the lesson I think for us all is that slope is slippery, and once we head down it, man, before we know it, we are putting weights in fish. So anyway, that's probably going to be it. I'm going to call this my last cast. I'm going to sign it off and head to work. Be productive for the day, but at least I caught a fish. I'm happy about that. So anyway, God bless you. See you next time.